Big BOAR Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG-TV with Dan the Voice Diker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Riker. Brought to you by Big BOAR Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, in La Crosse on 3rd Street downtown and George and Gillette Street. Big BOAR Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning. And by the D&D Diner. Good food, fine wine. On Theater Road in Sparta, next to the BP Truck Stop.
Hi, race fans. Welcome in. Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG-TV, along with Paul Reichert and Billy Doc Niles. I'm Radio Man Dan Diker. We taped the program for the 4th of July this past week on Wednesday, the day after
we
the
didn't bring any American flags in. What the heck were we thinking?
Crosse Speedway. Therefore, that's why I'm supporting Hoosier Racing Tires in the Midwest Truck Series today. I didn't have time to do my hair, so you guys are just going to have to put up with it.
It doesn't matter if you do your hair. It ain't going to get much better.
I have thick, illustrious hair.
You don't have hair.
Big night of racing Tuesday night at the Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. I was very impressed with the crowds. I was impressed with the car counts. And how about the heck of a fireworks show?
That was the best fireworks show I've ever seen at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. I even walked by Chuck Deere and I said, that's the way fireworks should be here every year. Very impressive.
Very good show. Oh, that was, especially the big ones. Felt like the tower was shaking at times.
Paul still got the jitters from it. Big night of late model racing as well. We had two 20-lap features with the La Crosse NASCAR late models. We're going to show you the first race right off the bat. We're going to run the video of the last two laps. First off, kudos. How about Cole Hamlin? 4 quick times in a row?
Yeah, he's definitely got the qualifying figured out. Looked like he had the race figured out here. Running away with it. A late caution allows Paninsky to catch up to him. Paninsky, great battle to get by him.
Yeah.
And once he does get by him, he sets sail. And Paninsky beats Howland and Carlson. And I said this to you right before the end of the race. How bad is that when you got to come back to your worst race ever and it's only a 3rd place finish? Or worst race this year and it's only a 3rd place finish?
Yeah, well, some people have that kind of luck, like Steve Carlson, and that luck kind of transpired into the second race. 2 weeks ago, Jeremy Wagner's about to win a feature. He's way out in front, car breaks, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened. I watch his family, they're really disappointed as well. How about last night, Michael Beamish out of Eagan, Minnesota. It's only him and his dad and his mom. That's pretty much their team. Beamish is out to a commanding lead. Caution comes out, and he doesn't get the win. Let's hear the last two of this one, Billy.
Yeah, as you see by now, Carlson's already in command of this race, but Beamish, what a great race, a career high for him, finishing 2nd place, which is nothing to sneeze at. And
the second good race for Nick Clements in a row, because Clements on both the Cone restarts went side by side with him as that was the front row.
Yep.
The single file restart, I think that's when the horsepower went to the front.
Yep, that's when you find out who's got it when you're going single file. And great job by Mike. And it was great when we were on the track afterwards. He walked up to Steve Carlson and he shook his hand. He says, "Congratulations, Mr. Carlson." A lot of respect out of the young man. He's got a big future in the late models here at La Crosse.
Mm-hmm. And now, what's the scoreboard, Billy Doc Niles, for late model wins?
Scoreboard. Well, after the Paninsky race, I had him in victory lane, and when he won, and I said the scoreboard now reads Carlson 4, you 3. Will it be even after the next one? He said we'll try, but as you see now, the scoreboard reads Carlson 5, Paninsky 3, and we got a wild card coming in this Saturday.
That was my segue. Ty Majeski's back to race Saturday night. Let's see if he can't maybe put himself into a mix right there. To the sportsman division we go. What an odd night this was. I go to the pits, Jeff Thompson, clutch problems. Doesn't look like the 03 is going to race. Then I get to the tower, problems in the 97 of Chris Webber. Think he's not going to race. All of a sudden, Webber hops into the 03 of Jeff Thompson's car, does a formidable job qualifying, but this was Steve Bachman's night.
Oh, yeah. He got to the lead by lap 3 and just checked out on everybody, left him in their wake, and just ran away with the win.
He was not very happy with the way that car performed last Saturday. I don't even think he cracked the top 5 last Saturday. And him and the crew went to work this week. They went over that car with a fine-tooth comb. They made it really fast this Tuesday night, and it showed by the performance on the track.
And Bachman picking up a couple more points with Chris Webber being Sportsman Point leader. To the Thunderstocks we go. It's been 5 years since I've announced Bad Brad Worthen's name in a Thunderstock. He ran for Brandon Gallagher Tuesday night. Gallagher was stuck working in Chicago, and it's how many of these things can you say? You can teach an old dog new tricks. You can fall off a bicycle. You know how to get back on. Billy Doc Niles, Brad Worthen's got all those in his back pocket.
Yeah, he obviously showed he didn't, he hadn't lost a step when it came to a Thunderstock car. Made some pretty savvy veteran moves there to get to the front, and once he got on the front, the race was his. He was in total command, and he's pretty happy about it. Too bad for Brandon that he had to work in Chicago, but opportunity for Worthen to get behind the wheel. Now that Gallagher can see what his car can do, let's see if he can do the same thing with it.
Mm-hmm. And the one race we didn't get to tape because it was a race in total darkness, and when you videotape in darkness, you really don't see much. And Billy was on track for this, and Brad Worthen almost caught Adam Moore to win that one.
There was 7 cars in the total darkness race. 6 of them had lights, and then there was Worthen. And Worthen worked. I mean,
there was Worthen.
Worthen wore out Moore trying to win this race. I mean, I don't know if you could see it, but it was a fun race to watch from the inside of the track.
Talking about wearing out drivers, how about Jimmy Bjorkman out of West Salem, Wisconsin? 18 years old, just graduated. He's had some heart problems here ever since he was a youngster, but he had no Hornet problems, Paul and Bill, on Tuesday night.
Yeah, that was a great side-by-side battle he had with Chris Berg in the middle stages of the race, and they just went at it, and Jimmy eventually, I think, wore Chris down and took the lead and just motored off with the win.
And Bill, we've seen Bjorkman do this continuously over the past 2 or 3 years, with just that haunted how much speed he's getting.
He has got a lot of speed in that car. He showed a lot of patience working the outside. He overdrove it a couple of times, but he was smart enough to back off and start making the right moves. Eventually got up to got past Berg for the win. Got to give a call out to Scott Malem on the first lap. And I said whoa to you on the radio. Leading the race, coming through turn 3 and 4, got her down in the grass, punked the tire, and kept on going. That was impressive.
Like it was nothing.
Yep. Kept on going.
Big farm tractor tire.
I hit my radio and I said to you, he just hit a tire, and you're yelling, what tire did he cut down? I said, no, he hit a tire.
And he didn't even move it. I'm looking at all the tires on the track. I couldn't even see him move any of those tires. Congratulations, all those drivers. Jaden Schock almost got her first win in a Hornet this year. Got to give her kudos for the way she drove. Chris Berg, former champion. Well, that's why he's a former champion. Just got her in a heat race. So Jaden, she's going to get one here soon enough. When we come back, let's get some highlights from the Tomah Sparta Speedway. A lot going on last weekend. That's Billy Doc. That's Paul Statman. I'm Dan Dyker. We'll be right back on 7 Rivers Racing.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
4 years in a row and counting. Hi, this is Jerry Beyer at Big BOAR Barbecue. Once again, La Crosse County has voted us the best barbecue and best caterer in La Crosse County. Making great ribs and great barbecue has always been my passion, and it means a great deal to me that you love what we do. If you haven't tried our ribs, pulled pork, brisket, or smoked chicken, try it and you'll agree. Big BOAR Barbecue, a delicious mouthful.
Yeah!
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter.
Hey, Dave.
Like giving Jeff his ladder back before he takes it back. Or where to put the food when you both get the groceries. Or the doggy door that just became a raccoony door. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call today for your free estimate on a new American Standard system, or schedule online at careyheating.com.
At the D&D Diner, you can expect hometown meals, hometown service, and hometown prices. Hi, this is Dale with the D&D Diner in Sparta, your new home for great food, cold beer, and fine wines. Whether it's a big breakfast, a tasty lunch, or traditional dinner, you'll find it on our menu. Whether it's Friday night fish dinners, Saturday night prime rib, or our many daily specials, your place for great food at fantastic prices is the D&D Diner in Sparta.
Welcome back, Silver's Racing, KQEG TV, along with Billy Doc Niles, Paul Reichert, and Radio Man Dan Dyker. The Crosse Speedway highlights in and out of the books. Let's go to the Tomah Sparta Speedway, where the heat index was about 115 when the races started last Friday. Fans didn't care. It was one of our best crowds the entire year. 3 rainouts. They are hungry for racing. Talking about hungry, how about hungry in a brand new hobby stock car? And Billy Duck knows when I mentioned this name, of course, you weren't there last week. Andy Moore. Do I need to say anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
Let's go to the last 2 laps of this one here. He was in a Jeff Burrows borrowed hobby stock / thunder stock car. And again, start in the back, start in the middle. Doesn't matter if your name is Moore. You're pretty much going to win a race.
They've got these thunder stock, hobby stock, whatever you want to call them. They got these cars figured out. And it doesn't matter where they go to La Crosse or if they go to Tomah or if they hit another short track in the area. They're going to be someone to contend with, and either Andy or Adam. They have fast cars, and Burrows does not build slouch cars either,
right.
and Andy proved that last Friday night at Tomah.
Adam was supposed to run, ended up breaking out the entire wheel assembly out of his car during practice, so he had to leave on the hooks and did get it back to run the Crosse Speedway. For the modifier for the Midwest Dash Series, now this is the Tomah version of Midwest Dash Series, not the Traveling Series. Patrick Tickey was dominant for the first couple races. Wayne Malsby beat him 3 weeks ago, got a feature win, but Paul Riker, as we show the last two right here, the 56 of Patrick Tickey stepped way out of this one. Matter of fact, by the time the second place car hit the line, he was already at the fast food restaurant.
Yes, great run by Patrick. We know he's got a great car this year, and he's just been taking names and just running away with things.
He has been, and it is a smaller Midwest Dash Series division. Paul Finch obviously has been running strong. Wayne Malsby had beaten Tickey earlier in the night with a heat race, but Tickey came back and capitalized in the feature. For the modifieds we go. You guys have heard the same name this year. Paul Brown, Darren Salo. How about Denny Schott, longtime modified veteran, as we show the last two of this right here. Denny Schott finally didn't have to sit back, Billy, to watch other people win. He dominated.
He's been looking for a shot. There you go. Yeah, I played that. Yeah, he's been looking for it for quite a few weeks now. I mean, he's been close, not close enough, not getting the job done. Finally, it's his night, and I like this modified class at Tomah. I mean, it is fun to watch these guys go around that small track. They're powerful. They're light, which means they're fast, and they got to go fast and stop really quick. And Schott, he proved he finally has what it takes to win one. Now can he make a challenge for that championship?
Nice to see Joel Willman. He sponsors our radio program. He brought the number 90 out for the first time this year. A little gingerly because it was a brand new motor, but I would expect Joel Willman to be on the hammer here.
He'll be competitive by the end of the year.
Really quick, like when he ran late Marlowe's at La Crosse several years ago. To the sportsman we go. Jason Backus, a name you both know from running a sportsman a couple years ago at the La Crosse Speedway, had some more important things to do, like official duties at Tomah. He let Jim Hendricks into his sportsman car, and you watch the last 2 laps of this one right here. And Billy Doc, just like you were talking about how the Moors set their cars up, Jason Backus is a good builder.
Oh, definitely. This is the car that he was running for a championship the last 2 years at Tomah, I believe. Didn't quite complete the job, but he's always been fast. Won several features with it. No shock that someone else with just as good a talent jumps in that car and wins a feature.
Next to the Hornets we go. A huge Hornet class. I think 23 started the feature at the Tomah Sparta Speedway. And Sparta's Jeff Von Ruden, Paul Reichert, synonymous with the Hornet class at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway.
I remember him.
Oh, man, did he have some tackling to do out of this one.
Oh, yes. He had to climb his way through the field. Just had a great race, and there he was in victory lane.
How about Andy Barney? First time that Andy Barney had raced his daughter Jaden Schock's number 10 car that we just saw at the La Crosse Speedway. Started towards the back of this one, climbed his way all the way to second, and did a lot of that because if your cars are going to be here and here, why not just drive right down the middle of the racetrack? And that's what they were doing.
Jets, you see that a lot with the support classes. They are all over the place. It's almost like watching a NASCAR race in Michigan. You get 5 wide going through the corners, and these support classes, if you leave a hole, someone behind you is going to take it.
Talking about the Moors, 6-shooters were out again, and I think he's won every feature in the 6-shooters this year. And this, I think, is the 3rd time that he's done this from the back row. The number 90, Matt Moore, and you pretty much, there's that Moore name again. Yeah. What is this?
I don't know. It seems like they could call it Moore Speedway. I don't know.
Well, that's he works just down the road there, More for Less Autos.
Yeah.
So, if something breaks, he's right down there at the shop getting a part for it. But You know, this is the track he grew up on. All the Moors cut their teeth on this track. They probably know every inch of it, and it shows. I mean, he hasn't lost a race yet this year in that class, and it's a very impressive feat.
So again, congratulations, Matt Moore. Of course, he runs the six-shooter at Crosse Speedway, which they're going to be coming up this weekend. And he also runs the minivan class. Matter of fact, street stocks at Crosse Speedway this weekend are running the second over-the-line novelty race. I don't ever remember the street stocks doing that, just the Hornets.
No, the Hornets and pre-Hornets, it was the Thunder stocks. And so this will be impressive. Bigger, heavier cars, a little more power to them than a Hornet. We'll see how they take that track. That second over the line, man, you missed some good ones way back in the day, Dan.
Oh, I've heard about some of those back in the day that transpired after that novelty race down to the pits and then down to your local distillery. So, yeah, there was some pretty good ones there back in the day. Now, when we come back, we have 3 interviews from Fan Photo Night. Paul Reichert, who did you have a chance to talk to?
Well, let's see. I talked to Mike Ehde, and I got to talk to our second-year driver, Ryan Brown, and Don Thunder Turner.
I was talking with one of Don's sponsors at the Speedway Tuesday night. Told him I really, really like you. Don's had several paint jobs and paint schemes and wraps over the past couple of years. I really like the red that he's gone with this year.
Don he's like anybody who's been racing 51 years. You got to get a little creative sometime, and this year I think has to be one of the most creative cars he's had since he started racing.
All those interviews and a whole lot more coming up next on 7 Rivers Racing.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Big Boar Barbecue is up and running on the north side of La Crosse. Hi, this is Jerry Beyer at Big Boar Barbecue. Yes, the food truck is open at George and Gillette Street to make it easier for you Northsiders to find out why La Crosse County has voted us 4 years in a row as the best barbecue and best caterer in La Crosse County. Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, and now open at George and Gillette Street. A delicious mouthful.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter.
Hey, Dave.
Like giving Jeff his ladder back before he takes it back. Or where to put the food when you both get the groceries. Or the doggy door that just became a raccoony door. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call today for your free estimate on a new American Standard system or schedule online at carryheating.com.
At the D&D Diner, you can expect hometown meals, hometown service, and hometown prices. Hi, this is Dale with the D&D Diner in Sparta, your new home for great food, cold beer, and fine wines. Whether it's a big breakfast, a tasty lunch, or traditional dinner, you'll find it on our menu. Whether it's Friday night fish dinners, Saturday night prime rib, or our many daily specials, your place for great food at fantastic prices is the D&D Diner in Sparta.
Welcome back one more time, race fans. 7 Rivers Racing, KQEG TV, being brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Carry Heating and Air Conditioning, D&D Diner in Sparta, Epic Media and Vinyl, Back 40 Wraps, and Fansarena.com. I had the 3-meat omelet at D&D this week. Oh, that was good. Paul Reichert, during Fan Photo at Crosse Speedway, had a chance to corral 3 fantastic drivers like this gentleman here. He spent a lot of years in Speedway, stepped away, came back, and Mike Ehde's having a whole lot of fun.
And we're here with a veteran late model racer from Prairie du Chien, Mike Ehde. Mike, good to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so of course we saw you in action out here in the late 90s, early 2000s. And what made you want to leave here and start traveling around the Midwest here?
It's kind of fun to go to different tracks and, like a different track every week. But now that I'm getting a little older, it's nice to just drive an hour and a half and be here instead of 4 hours to go other places.
And basically you talked about possibly bring your career to a close here at La Crosse where it started. So how's the season been going for you so far?
The car has been good, just get the wrong place at the wrong time and I get caught up in stuff, I think, but the car has been really good.
So what made you want to break into the late models here back then? What made you want to get started there?
Well, I started back in '84 on dirt cars, and then I went to here and I ran the sportsman class for a couple of years, and I decided that I wanted to go late models, and then a little faster and a little more adjustments on them and stuff too.
And what's it like to race out here with the likes of the Carlsons and the Panitskis and the Beamishes out here on a weekly basis?
It's fun to race them. They're these guys here are the best around here. That's why I come back, because if you beat them, you're really, really good, because they are good.
And of course, they'll probably no doubt see you for Oktoberfest at the end of the season. Now, what's it like to have drivers from all over the Midwest coming out here for Oktoberfest every year, racing against them?
That's fun, and I know I have a lot of guys that I know out there that live in different states, and they come for Oktoberfest, and it's fun to have a few drinks with them, and then race the next day or whatever, and talk about old times and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And no doubt a lot of great sponsors here to give you support here. Let's thank them here.
Yeah, Bob's Bar, D&D Overhead Doors, Key Law Firm, and the Dugout 47, Dillman Equipment. There's some good sponsors.
Next, Paul caught up with a second-year driver, making his ways, making big strides. Here's what Ryan Brown had to say.
Tell us how you felt about your first season out here with Just the Eye Racing or Xbox experience here last year.
It was definitely a really big learning curve, but it was a lot of fun. I'm definitely glad I made it through the season and was able to come back again this year. We started to show a little bit of progress here earlier in the season, and now we're kind of taking a step back after the big wreck, trying to get our car zeroed back in again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you kind of feel like you're in a sophomore slump season, or is it too early to say?
It sure feels like it, but there's still plenty of season left, and we'll see if we can get back on the upswing.
And how do you feel about coming out here and race against the guys like Carlson and Panitsky and all them here?
There's definitely a lot to be learned watching them race, and even watching the people race around me. Everybody learns from one another on how everyone drives, and the faster you get, the more you learn on the guy right in front of you. So hopefully someday I'll be up there with Carlson and Panitsky and all them.
Oh, yeah. And what was it like for you the first time last season when you first got out here? And were there a lot of nerves, a lot of apprehension?
A lot of nerves. A lot of it just had to do, I think, with just feeling out the car itself. But I feel like once you got in the car and you get up to speed, the nerves just go away. You're in your zone, and you're just out there doing the best you can.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say to anybody that's thinking about doing this, coming in to go to the top class, run the late models, that maybe is in your boat, that hasn't had any previous on-track experience? What would you tell them?
The obvious is save your pennies, but if it's what you really want to do, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. And no doubt there's a lot of great sponsors here supporting your efforts. Let's give them a thanks.
I got to definitely give Crest and Sports Hub a shout out for being on for the second year. I got a couple of new ones. I got Apple Village Liquor and Zinky Inc. And then I also have Brian Olson Construction, all from La Crescent, my hometown.
So far, Mike Ehde, Ryan Brown, fantastic interviews. How about a guy that is about to race his 49th Oktoberfest this year, Don Thunder Turner?
He's been racing longer than the Oktoberfest is old. Let's see what Don Turner had to say.
You've had quite an interesting racing career here over the course of, 40 years or so. A lot of travels, a lot of exploits here. Any memory sticks out best for you?
Well, to correct you, this is my 54th year of racing, and probably my best memory here is finishing second at an Oktoberfest race. But I have won races here before. I chose to race outstate for several years, and then I finally got smart and only driving 17 miles to track now, and this is a very good racetrack.
Mm-hmm. And what's it like to be out here racing against the likes of the Carlsons and the Panitskys and the Bagstads over the season?
Well, if you aren't the lead cow, the view's all the same. And I see the back end of those cars all the time. And my neck usually gets sore watching them go by me so fast. But racing against those guys, this is probably one of the toughest features in the state of Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. And I remember when you were racing, I was even going to school when you were teaching at Central High School, and I remember that big blue Firebird you had back in the early 80s. I think that was one of my favorite race cars you had. Do you have any great memories with that car?
Yes, I do. It was a Robin's Egg Blue race car. I still have that frame of that race car now, but it's changed to a red color now.
And a lot of great memories with the racing here, lacrosse, racing to the Dells with that point fund with Larry Weirs involved with running both tracks. Any great memories from down at the Dells there?
Oh, yes. I ran a big race several years ago. Those years kind of go together now, but finished third in probably the biggest race I ever raced at the Dells. But that wasn't when Larry Weirs was running both. That was after Larry.
Okay.
I really enjoyed running for Larry, and he ran a good, tight ship.
And let's take a look at how the season's gone for you so far. How you feel it's been going?
You know how yo-yos go? You're either at the top or you're at the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, we've been playing that yo-yo.
Yeah.
We've repaired the car enough times for this year.
Yeah, good one night, not so good the next week. So yeah.
We seem to be where the bump and push seems to be happening all the time. I hope I'm not the cause of all of it.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of great sponsors here on the car supporting your efforts. So let's give them some thanks here.
Oh, yes, I do. I have J. Buckley Baseball Tours, Fechner Motors, Cooley Region Land Surveyors. I have J-Line Design out of Caledonia, the Hungry Peddler, but I really like to call it the Starving Hobo because it always gets Kevin Arnold's attention when I call it the Starving Hobo. So those are, and I have Kickapoo Dairy this year also has jumped on board. So thanks to the sponsors, makes racing a lot easier.
Yeah, and if I remember right, last when you came out here at lacrosse, I guess your mom approved it, or how did she get involved in coming out here at lacrosse?
Well, my mother last year was 99 years old, and her words were, when are you going to grow up and quit racing? And my mother drove until she was 98, and I told her when she quit driving I would think about it. But she passed away this last year, so she doesn't know if I'm still racing or not.
Well, Don, thanks for the time. We really appreciate it, and best of luck to you the rest of the season here.
Thank you. We'll need it.
Well, I'll tell you, some of the stuff we do in between breaks with these two guys here, I've got a tear forming in the corner of this side and a corner of this side. You guys are just hilarious off camera.
Well, it's all him.
It's all Paul.
It's all me.
What? It's not the Statman anymore. It's like Mr. Comedy Hour with Paul Reichert. He's just killing us during the breaks.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, we got to thank Big BOAR Barbecue, Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, D&D Diner in Sparta, Epic Media and Vinyl, Back 40 Wraps, and Fansarena.com. Without them, we wouldn't be able to bring you this program.
And without Paul Reichert, I would have nobody else to sing Lionel Richie tunes to at the Crosse Speedway like I did Tuesday.
Oh, God.
I want to thank Billy Doc Niles and the lovely Statman Paul Reichert. I'm Radio Man Dan Doc. A lot of racing coming up at the Speedway this weekend. We're going to have all the highlights and highlights next week right here in Seven Rivers Racing.
You've been watching Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV with Dan the Voice Diker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Reichert. Brought to you by Big BOAR Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, in La Crosse on 3rd Street downtown and George and Gillette Street. Big BOAR Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning. And by the D&D Diner, good food, fine wine, on Theater Road in Sparta, next to the BP Truck Stop. Thanks for watching Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
4 years in a row and counting. Hi, this is Jerry Beyer at Big BOAR Barbecue. Once again, La Crosse County has voted us the best barbecue and best caterer in La Crosse County. Making great ribs and great barbecue has always been my passion, and it means a great deal to me that you love what we do. If you haven't tried our ribs, pulled pork, brisket, or smoked chicken, try it and you'll agree. Big BOAR Barbecue, a delicious mouthful.
Yeah.